Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. Folks, I am back and stronger than ever, feeling so on point, so sharp, so motivated, more than ever. Yes, Andy Scheckman and I will continue the Silver Stacking podcast once a week. My house got broken into. It put everything to a halt. We were grinding. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, which, by the way, I will be posting the entry video very, very soon. We might do a couple on the way there. Who knows? But another giveaway is going to be happening soon. I'll be giving away tubes of Eagles, 1 ounce gold coins. I'm talking thousands of dollars worth of silver and gold given away. And I do appreciate everyone for sticking around. If you're watching this video, welcome back, stackers. I posted a poll yesterday asking how many people have bought silver in the last 30 days. And right now we're at like 800 people have voted. And it's about even, 50-50. I think a little more leaned on the no side. But regardless, I asked that because in the past week, silver has shot up. But if you look at the 1 month chart, or especially the 3 month chart, silver was down to almost $21. Talk about a deal, folks. And we're talking about shot up to 26, 25, 26, down to 22, and now we're back up. And everyone who were when silver's down to $22, starting to second guess themselves, starting to think maybe they made the wrong decision, and they're thinking it's going to go down to $10. You guys gotta understand what makes silver valuable. I mean, some of the stuff we're going to be talking about today is stuff that has never happened before, and just kind of validates why I talk about silver being gold on steroids, and also why silver is going to take on a life of its own. Silver accelerates up, taking gold higher. We're not talking about silver being gold's little brother right now. Gold is silver's little brother. We're also going to be talking about what's going on. Glint of breakdown on U.S. dollar run and industrial demand. Silver rallies 5 days in a row. So first, we're going to be going over just the chart. Then we're going to go into a price breakdown, or we can just talk about a little bit of just the analytics of it. Then we're going to talk about more of the silver taking gold up, and then we'll end on this last article. So I put together a great video for you guys and gals. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Welcome back. If you want to buy some silver, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. Andy Scheckman is the CEO. You probably saw him on Kitco News or on Robert Kiyosaki's channel or somewhere. He is the most popular person. They still work with the U.S. Mint as well as one of the only few authorized dealers, and that's because they've earned the trust and respect of not only the people, but the government as well, the United States Mint, and that should speak for itself. So anyways, let's jump into this. So when I was gone, I've still been eyeing stuff. I just haven't had a setup, but silver was down to $22. So I asked people, have you bought silver in the last 30 days? And more people, only by a small percentage, said no. Now, I don't know if maybe people were just kind of waiting to see if it would dip lower, or people just, maybe they just didn't have the funds, or maybe they just didn't have faith in it. But you guys got to understand, nothing makes as much sense as silver does. And I'm not the only one saying this. Many of people, now more than ever, are speaking out about silver's valuable and potential aspect it brings to the table. See, gold is mainly used for jewelry and bars and stuff, which is great. It's a great, it's a safe haven. It's a perfect way to store your money, like in a vault, almost like in a time capsule. Yes, gold is always great for that. And plus, it's a way to cut down your storage, which, by the way, nobody took any silver or gold out of my house when they broke into it, because they were trying to break in for like a couple weeks, and the night I was gone is when they actually got in. But I took all my stuff out because I knew they were probably going to get in eventually. It's a crazy story. This wasn't just a one-night thing. This was going on multiple times. I've called the cops, and regardless, nobody took anything. I just want to mention that because you guys are probably worried, they broke into your house. Did they take any of your silver? No. They took my entire safe, but the safe was empty. So anyways, and if you want to know more about that, I did make a post showing even pictures of my door, what it looked like when I got home the next day. They literally drilled a hole in it. It's insane. But regardless of that interesting situation that happened, here's a price forecast. So silver turns volatile around $24 as the Fed keeps room open for more rate hikes. That's an important thing to look at right now, especially when you look at the next article, silver accelerates taking gold higher. Silver price turns topsy-turvy above $24 as Federal Chairman Jerome Powell keeps doors open for more interest rate hikes. Jerome Powell stated in commentary that interest rates can be raised further if data remains encouraging. Silver price forms a bullish flag chart pattern on a 2-hour scale, which is a trend-following pattern. Silver price turns volatile with crucial support above the $24 level in the early New York session. The white metal remains sideways as uncertainty about commentary Federal Chairman Jerome Powell escalates. The situation of decent consumer spending, the tight labor market environment, and declining inflationary pressures have elevated uncertainty about interest rates. And not only that, I mean, this is like the day-to-day stuff, right? These technical analysis, even the price forecast, this stuff is very instant. If you try to step out of the micro and look at the macro, look at the bigger picture, which I always try to advocate for, you'll see some things coming up that could play a huge role in what silver does, like the 2024 elections, right? We have so many things going on. Even what's going to happen with oil versus green energy, that could have a huge impact. Like this last article we'll be going over in a little bit, industrial demand. What's going to happen if there isn't enough silver, which there's not, by the way. The numbers literally do not add up with the amount of silver we'll need if we try to go completely green worldwide compared to if we didn't. Regardless, we would not have enough silver, but especially throwing trillions of dollars, not only to Ukraine, but trillions of dollars trying to go quote-unquote green with every single automobile company going electric by the year 2030, or solar panels covering the entire earth in every nook and cranny. We don't have enough silver for that. We broke record-breaking supply deficits this year, and we're just now starting this green age. We already were over hundreds of thousands of ounces in the red, right? That's something that should be very alarming because, yes, we get a pretty penny, but at what cost? At what cost, right? We're talking about trying to go green, but to save, to save climate change and all these other factors that are harming the earth, but we don't have enough silver to do so. Global warming. So if you're someone that believes in that, that should be very alarming to you. Because what would we do? Cut down the halt or the production of EVs? Try to scrap solar panels? Try to dig silver out of the ground, which there's only so much silver in the Earth's crust, since it's at the top of the crust, since it came here from comets and asteroids and meteors. Silver is not made on Earth. It's came here from meteors, which, by the way, ironically, NASA, I read this article couple days ago, NASA has sent a rover out, or I would say, I don't know what it is, but they're checking out this asteroid called 16 Psyche. I don't know if they're going to land on it yet. I think they're just flying around it the first time because it's going to be approaching Earth by the year 2026. And it's filled with precious metals. And I think their goal is to mine this asteroid. Do I think that space mining will be possible in the next 2-3 years? No, but it shows that they are thinking about it, because that's the whole entire point of them going to check out this asteroid, is it's rich with precious metals. So that could be another way that the silver shortage could be fixed to some extent. Now, what are the properties or elements on this asteroid? We don't 100% know for sure yet, since it's still very far away and we haven't gotten to it yet, but we have detected that there are precious metals on it. So space mining could be the fix to this, but it would probably be another decade before we get there. Anyways, let's look at this interesting article talking about how silver accelerates, taking gold up higher. Silver's impressive rally intensified yesterday, pulling gold upwards in its wake. We're talking about silver pulling gold up. When do you ever see that? Silver is a much smaller market than gold is. Hence why, banks like JP Morgan manipulate the silver market, because it's much easier to influence a market that's very small compared to gold. It'd be a lot harder. This surge seems to be a direct response to the retracement of benchmark treasury yields in both the US and Europe, which were affected by less than stellar PMI figures. Market sentiment is now swaying towards the belief that major central banks might be quickly approaching the final or the finale of their tightening cycle. All eyes are set on upcoming Jackson Hole Symposium. While the spotlight is certainly on by the speech of Federal Chairman Jerome Powell, insights and comments from other prominent central bankers are also poised to influence market directions. I'm glad they even mentioned that. Like I said, they're poised to influence market directions, meaning they're going to be trying to flat out manipulate silver or rig the pricing. Will this be able to be a thing forever? I don't think so, as silver becomes more of a necessity than just going off of investors or going off of even where the green energy movement is right now. By the year 2026, 2020, I mean, think about how much silver would need by then. We already approached above a billion ounces last year, 1.12 billion ounces. How many billions of ounces by the year 2026 will we need to try to keep up with this increasing demand, right? It's increasing demand. How many billions of ounces? You can't manipulate a market when we're talking about demand like that. As for gold, short-term bottom is in place at $1,884, with the DMACD crossing above the signal line. Further rebound is now in favor for the 55-day EMA, now at $1,932. Sustained break there will argue that whole corrective pattern from $2,062.95 has completed, with 3 waves down to $1,884 after defending the 38.2% retracement. A strong wet rally would then be seen at $1,987, but resistance would confirm this bullish scenario. So they're talking about gold's resistance levels and where it has been and where it could go. I don't really see even gold breaking above $2,000 doing much for silver right now, since when gold broke past $2,000, silver was only half of what its all-time high was at $50. When gold broke above $2,000, silver was only like $26, $27 maybe. So that wouldn't really matter too much. When we see $50 silver, gold would definitely be around $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So that even validates more that silver is going to take on a life of its own, and maybe even gold following with it. Now, silver rallies 5 days in a row. Early departure from 5 weeks in red. Run-up predicted on continued industrial demand and dollar strength. China's slowdown could slow global industrial progress, crucial to the white metal. Now, why did they say this last part? And that's because China is the biggest consumer of silver. So if the slowdown effect, if we're talking about China not consuming as much silver, that would in return mean that industrial demand is not where it would have been, or people predicting it would go, meaning that the price wouldn't be there, because there is a direct correlation to demand versus the price. Wait, Silver Slayer, you're saying that the demand has a direct correlation to the price, and you're saying that demand is only going to be growing tenfold over the next decade. That means the price would as well. Exactly. Exactly. Right? If there's a direct correlation between demand and the price, and if you look at a chart, it's almost identical. And we know that over the next decade, we're going to be needing a lot more silver. And we've been seeing scientists say this, that by the year, by the year 2028, I think they said, that the amount of silver that will be left would be used 100% of the silver would be used in one category alone, not even accounting for EVs or PV cells, photovoltaic cells, which would be used in solar panels or so on and so forth. So they have to figure out something, and that's why they are setting up more single or more silver-based mining, because silver is a byproduct. So if all these miners are focusing on gold, lead, and zinc and finding silver as a byproduct by accident, then that means that we're looking for things that are irrelevant. Gold dug up out of the ground is going to stay in circulation since it's used for coins and bars and jewelry. It's going to stay getting melted and remelted and sold at a pawn shop or sold because it's valuable to do so. And they're going to take the grandma's jewelry or inch passes or whatever you get or you find. It's going to be remelted into more coins, bars, and jewelry and necklaces. But silver is thrown away since it's used in technology. It's going to go on a solar panel or an electric vehicle or a laptop or a cell phone. It gets thrown away and it's never scrapped. So that 1 ounce of silver that gets dug up out of the ground is thrown away within a couple decades. That 1 ounce of gold will stay in circulation. So if we're talking about demand at that level even, they need to start focusing on how to recycle silver, and that's exactly what's happening. So after 5 consecutive weeks in the red, silver longs could certainly use a break, and that's exactly what charts of the so-called white metal are suggesting after a slump of 10% between early June or early July and mid-August. Silver has gained almost 5% from a mini run-up stretching back to August 18th. Originally prized as a jewelry metal before the discovery of the several industrial uses for it, silver is also valued these days as a key renewable energy input due to its use in solar panels or PV cells. The run-up in silver, sparked by the triggering of key support levels on the metal's way down over the past 5 weeks, could continue if there are signs of steadying industrial demand. And that's what I was just talking about. Right? This would solidify silver prices rising if there is a steadying rise in demand. And for that, 2 things will be necessary. Data showing no slip up in the U.S. economy and a firm dollar, because silver's price is negatively correlated to the dollar index. When the dollar is high, silver is low, and gold, and vice versa. But we have seen signs of silver actually not being affected by the dollar, and which is interesting, which is very rare, but we have been seeing that happen as well, meaning that silver is becoming detached. Regardless of what gold does, silver is going to do what it does. Regardless of stock market volatility, silver is going to do what it does. Regardless of the dollar index, silver is going to do what it does. Where right now, all of these things are heavily tied to the price. But I also say this loud and clear, and have been since the beginning, silver stackers always get the last laugh. The dollar index, which pits the U.S. economy currency against 6 majors, hit a 2-month high of 103.62 in Tuesday's session. So the China challenge, notwithstanding the state of the dollar, silver could also see renewed bearishness on fears about the economic malaise in China, world's number 2 economy and the largest maker of solar panels that's been driving the demand for silver, which is interesting. If China slowing down solar panel demand or solar panels, that would affect the demand, but I don't think that's going to be enough when you're talking about all the other uses for silver being solar panels or electric vehicles at that. And then you have 5G towers. You have so many other things. So many, even in medicine, right? You have colloidal silver, which is used in medicine. There's so many other things, and I don't think that China just slowing down solar panel production is going to put that much of a damper on the macro of the price or the longer term price, which I'm talking about next decade, 2 decades. July was particularly a woeful month in China with one bad patch of economic data after another, from bank loans at 14-year lows and exports citing most since February of 2020. And this is interesting. The yuan also tumbled against the dollar, adding to the weight on commodities, particularly oil. And there's also a correlation between oil and silver. If you want to look at what silver is going to do, a lot of times you can look at oil and you get a pretty good insight on that. So anyways, that's kind of what's going on right now. Silver, if we look at the chart, is back up. So that's what's been happening. And a lot of people have been kind of on the fence, but it's looking like silver's recovered, as it always will. And I hope you guys understand why silver always will recover. Because if you're investing kind of blindly and not understanding silver's true value, and even more importantly, the dollar's true value, then you're always going to be extremely emotional during these times. And I always say invest with your head, not your heart. That's how you lose money, investing off of feelings. And that's why these AI robots are so accurate, because they don't have feelings like people do. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, because we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I'll be doing some giveaways very soon. Thousands of dollars worth of gold and silver given away, so you don't want to miss it. But also because I am going to start posting daily videos again. We also have the interview or the Silver Stacking podcast with Andy Sheckman coming back up, which you guys love. And right now, if you wanted to purchase silver, which I think 58% of you said you haven't in the last 30 days, go to Miles Franklin, info@milesfranklin.com. Send that email. He will hook you up. Make sure you let him know Silver Slayer sent you. He will hook you up. He will match any major retailer's price. And that just shows, they're not in this for the same reasons as a lot of people are. They genuinely like helping people take control of their hard-earned wealth and their dollars, and Andy will look out for you. If you've ever seen any of the interviews, he's an incredible guy. He's very down to earth, and he genuinely, like me, just loves helping people. He does, and he will spend time even talking to people that aren't even purchasing from him. That's happened several different times where someone asks me a question, I'll shoot it to Andy, and they'll email me back saying, "Thank you so much, Andy got me all figured out." And it's not even about purchasing from Miles Franklin. I do recommend that, but it just kind of shows Andy's character. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.